happening. Welcome back.
Thank you.
You came prepared. You have a hanky with it.
I do.
Right? Yes.
I do. And I was in my pajamas about 20 minutes ago.
So we're very, very happy and lucky that you're back. You're gorgeous too, I've been meaning to tell you. Tell us about the first time. Tell us about the first time when you met them, when you met Ray and Moth for the first time, the real people.
Jason and I had taken a train out to Cornwall with Marianne Elliott, the director, yeah. And I think it was about a 4-hour train ride. And the thing I remember about the train ride the most is that we were talking to Marianne about the script, and I think Jason was giving notes, and we got to page 45 in those 4 hours. Sorry, that's, you know. That's Jason. He's yeah. But then we arrived in this beautiful, beautiful location, and Ray and Moth were there and welcomed us, and we spent the day, you know, not just talking, but putting up tents, taking down tents, looking at a lot of the items that they both had with them for the entire walk. The clothes that Ray wore for the entire walk. And it was quite extraordinary. It was, I think, pretty much everything that they had was laid out between two tabletops or something. It was really profound, and you know, talking, you know, just looking at the tents, them putting the tent up, showing us how they did it, what the tricks were to, you know, how they got better at it, and starting to map that out in terms of our agility with it, and Jason talking to Moth about the trajectory of his illness and how it manifested and how it got better and then worse, and, you know, really just starting to get into those conversations in, you know, in real time, and it was really, you know, it was really important and meaningful for us.
I mean, we all know that you've played real characters, but it's, of course, I mean, I guess, very different playing Margaret Thatcher and playing a real person you can meet and talk to, and playing a real couple. So how did the two of you become a convincing couple on the big screen?
I mean, that... Oh, it's so quiet. You know, part of acting, you know, is acting as if you have history with people, and whether that's with your, you know, your on-set children or your partner, and I've had a lot of experience, you know, showing up to work, and on the first day is, you know, the divorce scene, or, you know, the death scene, or the, you know, sex scene, or the, you know, there is, I've found that there's been, that you never know what to expect, and so you have to come prepared, and sometimes that it makes more sense than other times, like the coupling makes more sense, just physically, energetically, and with Jason, it made sense. It made sense on paper. It made sense on screen, and so I don't feel like we had to do all that much to make it feel like we had lived a life together. And because we don't, when you're filming, you don't necessarily start in a linear way. You don't start at the beginning of a film. You might start on, 3/4 of the way through your journey together, let alone, that journey together, let alone the journey of your life together. So you got to kind of work, as an actor, you got to work on that stuff in your own time, in your own space, and bring it.
Which characters do stay with you, and why? Or do characters stay with you?
Yeah. Some more than others. I feel I've said on many occasions that that Blanche has really stayed the most with me, and I don't quite know why that is. She really got under my skin, and I think historically she's gotten under. That's in Streetcar Named Desire, and she's. I think she's historically gotten under all pretty much all of the actresses' skins who have played her, and because I'm pretty good at leaving characters behind, even in any given night, to go back to a hotel or whatever. And but there was just something about her.
How did they react when they saw the film for the first time, Rainmouth?
I don't know.
Why did you like it? Yeah, she used a lot of tissues. That's what she said.
It must be so strange. This must be so strange, right? Yeah.
How important is it for you to play a character in a story that matters? When we watch this film, of course, we start thinking about homelessness. We start thinking about what capitalism does to people and how different we treat people if they are successful, if they're rich, and if they're not. How important is that for you, that a film talks about more important stuff than, I don't know?
I think it started to be more and more important to me as I've gotten older, and also as I'm, on the one hand, producing things, on the other hand, realizing that, I can only do so many projects, and I'm wanting to make sure that they count, and I think when you do a project like this that has so much to say, that is that really moves an audience, and even potentially moves an audience to think differently, behave differently, be more compassionate, be more questioning about the state of the world, the state of our politics, the state of our governments, the state of our relationships, and our relationships to other human beings. It does, as an actor, at least for me, it makes me think differently about the things that I spend my time doing.
Is that the only thing that changed for you, how you approach acting and how you approach which characters you choose and which characters you don't want to play? Or what are the biggest developments in those some years that you've been doing this?
On the one hand, I think first and foremost, it's ultimately a reaction to the material and to a character as to whether I feel that they live inside me or could live inside me, and the quality of the writing and the people involved. But there have been plenty of projects that I have been offered or have come my way, when I've thought, oh, I get this, I know how to do this, I'd love to work, you know, that you know, I think too that the older one gets, the more precious time is, and the more precious the people in one's life. Not that they start to become more precious, but you suddenly realize, I think, how meaningful connections are, and so that does affect. It does affect the choices that I make in terms of, you know, is this particular project worth being away from the people that I love? Is this period of 3 to 6 months worth spending days of my life on if it doesn't have something to say?
Can you tell us a bit about the other things that you do? Do they come from the same place of creativity when we talk about producing, directing, and writing? Is that the same Gillian Anderson we all love as an actor?
I don't know. I mean, I think I've been more involved in more entrepreneurial things over the last couple of years, and that's a piece of my brain and myself that it has always been there, and I've used it more specifically in other areas of my life than acting. Acting feels it feels different. It feels I don't know. I'm just getting deep. I guess maybe because it's ultimately somebody else's. It's in service of somebody and something else that originates outside of me. And a lot of the things that I've been involved with over the last couple of years in terms of a company that I started and online community, and I have a drinks brand. I'm so embarrassed. I don't even know how to talk about it. But that's a different kind of creativity in building a brand that has meaning and stands for something. And so the mixture of that and you know, working on my book Want, it feels like that's a different. It feels like it's really important, the words that are chosen, how it's in, what it means, what it has to say, who it supports, everything about how we present it and how it is perceived is all taken into consideration because it feels important for a lot of people, and so that's different than the creative act of being an actor, saying somebody else's words. Sorry, it takes me a long time to figure these things out.
They don't seem bored. They seem fine. Would you have done the book without Jean Milburn from Sex Education?
I mean, I don't think I don't think it would have come my way. I don't think the idea that was had would not necessarily have been had in relation to me. And I think that it wouldn't have made sense to me had somebody come and said, "Do you want to do this book?" I would have said, "Fuck off!" Like, what?
Yeah. I want to ask you about. I mean, that was the first time I experienced something like this when we watched the trailer together and watched your roles, so many of your iconic roles that you've played, that there were people going like, woo, all the time. And that rarely happens. And just the affection that the fans have for these amazing roles that you've played. I mean, I know that Dana is such a long time ago, but it means so much to people. And you see, it works. Or Jean Milburn, for a younger audience. Now you have to do it again. Just the affection that people and fans have for these roles that you've played, does it change the way you look back on the characters that you've played?
Yeah, it does. I think particularly for Scully, because I don't think that it was such a whirlwind for me. Mm. And it was, at the time, it felt like too big of a responsibility to take ownership of at the time. And in retrospect, and also hearing firsthand from people the impact that she had on their lives, and also the impact on the STEM community. And go STEM! And also, you know, on the gay and lesbian community, you know, she had a big impact on that. And so it's easier to celebrate something, I think, in retrospect, and the degree to which, and the demographic range that she has impacted and continues to impact still is real. It's a real thing. And there's something I've been championing. Well, there's a few things that I'm working on that feel like they have, there are aspects of Scully in a way, not in terms of character necessarily, but in terms of like her lineage is built within them. One's a film and one's a book, and they make sense because of her, or me doing them makes sense because of her. And so she continues to impact my life, and also and the charity work that I do, I think, yeah.
I would love to mention that The Soul Path will be in German cinemas in 2 weeks. So you can all tell your friends that they should watch this film, because it starts in the almost as big a movie theater as this one. A big thank you to DCM, an den Verleiher natürlich auch, dass wir den Film hier zeigen konnten. Danke für eure Unterstützung. And shall I make you cry again? No. I think it is time for all of you to show your love and admiration, and how much you appreciate her, and how much we are so thankful, Gillian, for you being here, talking to us, and accepting the Cinemerit Award from Filmfest München. Thank you so much. Gillian Anderson.
Thank you. Wow. Thank you.